Assalamualaikum, my name is Siti Nazwa binti Muhammad Zaini. Okay, our group topic is about how has the supply chain developed before the COVID-19 pandemic for the goods and also the services industry, which is our group choose fashion industry. First part is about the concept of supply chain management in the fashion industry. Supply chain management, as you know, is about the managing distribution of product and also the services. It includes everything that happen between starting the raw materials and ending up with the final product. Supply chain management is allow the businesses to reduce the expenses and also increase the speed with which good to consumer. In the fashion industry, supply chain management is refer to the different steps going to making the clothes, which is start with the designing and planning, and then move to the raw material procurement, manufacturing, and then is distribution of retailer, and ending up with the consumer purchases. When it's come to the clothing, fast fashion trends that change all the time and high demand in a short period of time all affect the whole industry. The fashion industry is always thinking about the next season. They are always coming out with the new style and making sure they are perfect before the ones they have now go out of style.
To present the strategies for managing the supply chain management. The push supply chain strategy dictates when things are made and supplied based on expected consumer demand. Seasonal products are an example of a traditional push supply chain approach. A push model supply chain is one in which what enters the process is determined by expected demand. For example, warm coats are pushed into apparel stores when the summer season closes and the fall and winter seasons begin. This also helps companies to schedule manufacturing to match their demands and arrange a storage facility for the merchandise they receive. Next is the pull strategy. Pull strategy is related to just-in-time inventory management approach, which it reduces stock on hand and focusing on last-second delivery. Goods are manufactured in the quantity and time required. Pull systems are frequently favored when there is a restricted demand for a certain product or when the expense of handling extra inventory outweighs product enter the supply chain when client demand justify it.
Background of the fashion industry. As we know, fashion is a well-known look, particularly when it comes to apparel, accessories, lifestyle, makeup, and physical appearance. Fashion also refers to a distinctive and frequently ongoing trend in how people show themselves. A fashion may also represent the most recent innovation made by designers, technologists, engineers, and design managers, or it may simply reflect the dominant style of someone's behavior. The current fashion market is competitive, and a product may need to be delivered from design to shop in as little as 3 to 4 weeks. As operation and manufacturing phase are interrelated, a close chain of collaboration is essential. Due to this fact, the current conflict can affect the entire supply chain rather than just the individual enterprise. According to Gary Vee 1999, large retailers, branded marketers, and branded manufacturers who establish decentralized production networks in a range of exporting nations typically lead into the supply chain.
Hi, my name is Latina Bila binti Samsuri, and I would like to explain about designing and productions of material when it comes to fashion industry. In fashion industry includes the design, production, distribution, advertising and marketing of all kinds of clothes, from the most expensive high fashion and dressmaker fashions to ordinary everyday clothes. People sometimes use the term style industry to describe a wide range of businesses and services that employ millions of people around the world. Before the middle of the 19th century, everyone made their own clothes, either at home or with the help of dressmaker and tailor. Now, more clothes were made in the standard sizes and sold at a fixed price. This was because of the rise of the latest technology like the stitching system, the rise of global capitalism, the improvement of the manufacturing unit machine, and the rises of stores like a department store. Here are the two things of highest concern, which is fabric design and production and fabric design and manufacturing. This part, we will take a look at the complete production process from beginning to the end to understand what goes on behind the scenes when designing and manufacturing clothes. It starts with the design, costing, sourcing fabric, touchback, fabrication, sampling, production, quality control, packaging and shipping, lastly distributions. And I'm going to explain little things that are very crucial when it comes to designing and manufacturing procedure. First, start with the design. A designer starts by imagining what might look good on someone, and then they draw a basic sketch. The designer must also guarantee that the product is not excessively expensive or to make, and then they need to change their design concept based on the time and money needed to create each garment. This process may take time if it's a new designer's collection. As we know, costing is an important part of any business as it helps them assess whether or not they can make a profit on the item's production and also set the retail price. Next one is quality control. This is the key to success. If we didn't give any customers the best quality, it could be bad for our businesses because customer would give us a bad reviews or might not come back to us again. Plus, company might waste so much money because making clothes is very expensive.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Azra Amanda binti Hasri. So next is apparel of manufacturing. In this phase, they have 6 steps which are cutting, sewing and finishing. Firstly, the fabric will cut into uniform layers. Secondly, the fabric will spread to allow operator to identify fabric defects. Then the fabric will cut to the shape of the German forms. The second step is laying. Lay large pieces first and then fit in the smaller ones. The edge of the material should be parallel to length of the German when doing a laying. All checks and sides should match the seam points lengthwise and crosswise. 6.0. The third step is marking. Fabric with pins, staplers or on-heat seal adhesive paper on the upper layer of the fabric will be attached together with the markers produced on the paper. The fabric is placed manually or a spreading machine is used to arrange 100 fabric in lace layers. The fourth step is cutting. In this step, any problem with the fabric made in the cutting room can affect the output in the sewing room. Extend the cutting room program to the sewing room when all fabric components, design and trims can be accepted and planned and cut correctly. The fifth steps in this process is usually subcontract to an off-site facility. Embroidery is done with many machines simultaneously if the embroidery pattern is the same on several German. Meanwhile, screen printing use a printing press and textile dryer to apply color-based graphic to fabric. And the last step is sewing. In this last step, after the cut pieces according to the size, color and quantity determined by the sewing room. Germans are sewed on an assembly line with each German becoming complete as it moves down the line. At dedicated sewing stations, the clothing will be revised or patched as needed.
Assalamualaikum and warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Adi Imran Rusli and I am hereby to say about distribution and also retail manufacturing. Retail is the last mile for the fashion companies because it is the last element of separation between the company, product and the customer who purchased those products. The first moment of truth for the customer when it comes to determining whether or not the brand will appeal to them. The most significant decision that wholesaler and retailer, also distributor of fashion goods, needs to make in order to ensure that the distribution network and retail operations are capable of satisfying requirements of hyper-competitive consumer market of the day. There are 4 main decisions that fashion firms need to make. The first one is the management of retail logistics. The sale process in fashion firms, the retail management decision in fashion firms, And also lastly, it is the CRM, which is the Customer Relationship Management in Retail. Let's come for the first one. The first one is the management of retail logistics. There are two primary strategies for effectively managing logistics and attending to the needs of the customer. This is the firm we will use is made to order, which is firm only produce higher volume of a product only once the order have been collected by the trade client. Second is a made to stock, which is the firm produce greater quantities of product even before they have collected the products. The second one is the sale process in the fashion firms. You see, customer will use any kind of retail store or any kind of marketing to show their product. The first one, they may use the agents as their distributor, which is agents are compensated based on how much they are able to sell. They may be able to offer more competitive price. The second one is showroom. Showroom provide a place for the merchandise to be displayed. The advantage of managing a showroom consists of the fact that it enables businesses to manage the sale process in a more direct and effective manner, which is the customer may see the product by their own eyes. The third one is retail management decision by itself, which is their decision to where they put your product, which is in a retail stock or in a wholesale stock. The first one is retail store. This retail store is like flagship store, freestanding store, shop in shop, which is customer will see the product by their own self, but not in a bulk way, which is they can see in the railing. It's some minor product, but here like a collecting product. And for the wholesale is like shop corner, wall unit, open sale, which is they will sell their product, or they will show their product in bulk, which is there are many collection and many variety of product they can sell using wholesale. The last one is the customer relationship management. There are two guidelines, which is the first one is developing a long-term relationship with one customer based on integrate, which is they can develop customer oriented, and also they can develop digital distribution channel. This is based on customer, which is they want to get the loyalty from the customer. So you want to track which customer that can stay in the company, or which potential customer that can buy their product in the future. Company I use customer relationship management software to develop an integrated management approach focused on the value of the customer, like I said before. In order for business to successfully implement this strategy, they require to follow the two guidelines that I have said before. So, developing a long-term relationship, this is using the formulation of policies governing customer relationship, has made it possible to accomplish these goals. After an initial and productive connection has been established, it is possible to sustain a profitable relationship with those customers.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Siti Aisyah binti Bahtiar. Allow me to present my part, which is end user purchasing. What is end user? End user is a person that actually uses a product or a service. To build a successful product or service in a clothing industry, its creator, developers, testers, and marketers must consider the needs of the final consumer. Delivery to the end user is the final stage following the completion of the preceding processes, and its purpose is to enable the user to perform something that was previously impossible. Explain about the end user purchasing process. Firstly, problem recognition refers to the process by which consumers look for the ways to improve existing conditions after becoming aware of their dissatisfaction with those conditions. Secondly, internal search and external search are two parts of information search. Internal search indicates that consumers search for product information based on their culture, purchasing history, and old memories. External search refers to the process of obtaining information from the external environment. Thirdly, the evaluation of the alternative refers to the process by which consumers evaluate product based on their functional and psychological benefit. Lastly, the final purchase decision of consumer is influenced by the outcome of alternative evaluation, environmental factor, and the selection store. That's all from me. Thank you.
As a conclusion, to keep operation running smoothly, supply chain management is crucial in the fashion industry sector. The process can move along at the proper pace and the demand can be met more confidently with a smooth apparel supply chain. Many apparel businesses depend on service providers for professional supply chain management because they leverage their experience, resources, and technology for groundbreaking supply chain transformation. In consideration of this, we must react wisely and skillfully to create the finest safeguards for this data. In light of recent market changes, organizations should also use alliances, technology, and other tactics to capitalize on the benefits of collaborative demand forecasting. This process will bring businesses closer to demand forecasting techniques, which it will enhance supply chain management and also a customer service. That's all from our Group 1. Thank you.